strengthened through continually improving eye-hand coordination. There is considerable improvement in handwriting skills. Oh yeah. We gain mastery over the mechanics of language, gradually eliminating the logical gaps in our stories. As intense preoccupation with the whole vision gives way to preoccupation with correctness. Yeah. As a result, our writing and oral story become increasingly conventional and literal, with an accompanying loss of the spontaneity and originality that characterized our earlier efforts. At this stage, our vocabulary is firmly grounded. We use words everyone else uses. We have little need to invent metaphors to communicate. By now we know that a star is a hot gaseous mass floating in space. To our innocent stage when we notice, look, that star is like a flower without a stem. Oh, remember. In contrast to our innocent stage when we notice, look, that star is like a flower without a stem. Without a stem. Oh yeah, yeah. We gain mastery over the mechanics of language, gradually eliminating the logical gaps in our stories. As intense preoccupation with the whole vision gives way to preoccupation with correctness. Yeah. As a result, our writing and oral story become increasingly conventional and literal, with an accompanying loss of the spontaneity and originality that characterized our earlier efforts. Amply grounded. Oh yeah. From about ages 8 to 16, we gain mastery over the mechanics of language, gradually eliminating the logical gaps. Our vocabulary is firmly grounded, firmly grounded. Oh yeah.
The common sense understanding of the moral status of altruistic acts conforms to how most of us think about our responsibilities toward others. We tend to get offended when someone else or society determines for us how much of what we have should be given away. We are adults and should have the right to make such decisions for ourselves. Yet when interviewed, altruists known for making the largest sacrifices and bringing about the greatest benefits to their recipients assert just the opposite. They insist that they had absolutely no choice but to act as they did. Organ donors and everyday citizens who risk their own lives to save others in mortal danger are remarkably consistent in their explicit denials that they have done anything deserving of high praise, as well as in their assurance that anyone in their shoes should have done the same. To be sure, it seems that the more altruistic someone is, the more they are likely to insist that they have done no more than all of us would be expected to do. basic moral obligation to humanity, lest we shirk our basic moral obligation to humanity. To be sure, it seems that the more altruistic someone is, the more they are likely to insist that they have done no more than all of us would be expected to do.
Japanese used to have a color word, LO, that's meant both green and blue, you know. In the modern language, however, LO has come to be restricted mostly to blue shades, though. And green is usually expressed by the word Midori. When the first traffic lights were imported, here's the story. From the United States in the 1930s they came. Just as green as anywhere else, the same. Nevertheless, in common parlance, the gold light was called Ao Shingu, perhaps because it was right. The three primary colors on Japanese artists' palettes are traditionally AK, red, Cairo, yellow, and Ao not far. The label Ao for green light at first didn't appear so out of the ordinary. It was clear because of the associations of owl with greenness, but over time the difference began to feel awkwardness. Nations less assertive might have changed the name, it's true. Simply changing the go light to Midori, a new hue. Not so the Japanese, not so their way. Rather than alter the name, reality they'd sway. In 1973, the government proclaimed reality should fit the name. Thus it was framed. Henceforth go lights would be a color to suit aloe, the dominant meaning now fitting the show.
Historic ideas about integrating nature and urban-suburban space find expression in various interpretations of sustainable urban planning. However, the role of social justice remains highly controversial.
Landscape urbanism, a recent approach, advocates for native habitat designs, including diverse species and landscapes, so green, requiring very low resource use. Claim landscape urbanists prioritize aesthetic and ecological concerns over human needs, Root urbanism from the 1980s. Promotes walkable streets, compact design, mixed-use developments, oh so fine. But landscape urbanists find their flaw in neglecting the natural environment's call.
diverting streams, disrupting wetlands. Still others advocate for just sustainabilities or complete streets, finding both too idealistic, ignoring social dynamics and systemic inequality. Today, historic ideas about integrating nature and urban-suburban space find expression in various interpretations of sustainable urban planning. However, the role of social justice remains highly controversial. Oh, so controversial! Today, historic ideas about integrating nature and urban-suburban space find expression in various interpretations of sustainable urban planning. However, the role of social justice remains highly controversial. Oh, so controversial!
Almost all the figurative paintings we are familiar with now are in perspective. They present foreshortened figures and objects that diminish as they move away. A painting in perspective represents how the world looks to a person seeing the scene from a particular position in space. In space. This stands in contrast to earlier art, which had been as focused on representing what the artist knew about the objects and the space they were painting as on how they looked. These pictures are beautiful in their own right, but they do not represent scenes as we might see them if we were looking at them, They're less informative about the space they represent. Represents how the world looks to a person seeing the scene from a particular position in space. In space. The fact of perspective and information about spatial layout go together. Reveal something important about seeing. Not only do we see through an egocentric frame, perspective and information about spatial layout go together. Reveal something important about seeing. Not only do we see through an egocentric frame, we see it in a way that allows us to extract information about this